NASCAR fans waited all weekend to see how one Formula One star would handle the rough world of stock car racing. What they got was something nobody saw coming. By the end of the day, Denny Hamlin was on his podcast, calling out the F1 driver for what he said was a huge insult to the whole sport of NASCAR. The race happened at Naval Base Coronado in San Diego. This was a huge moment because it was the first time ever that NASCAR ran a cup race inside an active military base. Corey Heim won the race and got his first Cup Series win. But the real story belonged to two drivers way at the back. Their names? Kevin Magnussen and Noah Gragson. These two stole all the headlines, and it had nothing to do with winning. Magnussen came over from Formula One to give NASCAR a try. He was driving for Trackhouse Racing in the number 91 Chevrolet. This was a one-off race for him, meaning he wasn't planning to race full-time, and honestly, he showed real speed right out of the gate. He posted the fastest lap of the whole race at 132.49 seconds. He ran inside the top 20 for a long stretch of the race. He looked like he belonged out there. But things went sideways fast. On lap 25, Magnussen tried to brake late going into a corner. He ended up smacking the back of Gragson's number 4 Ford. Gragson didn't take it well at all. He closed the door on Magnussen, and the two of them started banging doors down the straight. For several laps, it was a battle of bumpers and fenders. Both drivers were fired up, and you could feel the tension building. Then came the moment that ended everything. Late in Stage 2, with just a few laps left, Magnussen made his move. He went to the inside of Turn 4. He got under Gragson's car. And then he sent him right into the wall. The hit broke Gragson's right front toe link, and just like that, his race was over. Gragson finished 35th. Magnussen kept going and finished 27th. After the race, Magnussen tried to explain what happened. He didn't sugarcoat it either. "It was dumb," he said. Then he walked through his side of the story. "I think what pissed him off was that I bumped him, but I went in, I dived in, and after I dived, he closed the door and I bumped him. So I said, okay, fine, but then that ruined his whole race, and he basically was messing around under the caution and slamming my door. I thought maybe we could get it out of his system and carry on, but he didn't, so he ended up where he ended up." But here's where things really got spicy. When reporters asked Magnussen why he wrecked Gragson, he gave an answer that lit a fire across the NASCAR world. "I've watched NASCAR before, so I know that's how you guys play it." That one line set off a storm. He was basically saying that wrecking each other is just part of NASCAR, that this kind of racing is what NASCAR is all about. And a lot of people in the sport did not like hearing that, especially not from a guy who showed up for just one race. That brings us to Denny Hamlin. Hamlin is one of the biggest names in NASCAR. He has been racing in the Cup Series for years. And on his podcast called Actions Detrimental with Denny Hamlin, he made his feelings clear. He wasn't having any of Magnussen's excuse. "If you're coming over here for a one-off, you've got to show the competitors who are here full-time some respect," Hamlin said. Then he turned Magnussen's own words right back at him. "If I went and did a one-off somewhere else, I guess that's stereotyping us and NASCAR as well. You guys just run into each other. So, I think it's okay to just power drive you into turn 12 on lap 3. I'm not a huge fan of that." Hamlin's point was simple. If Magnussen showed up at an F1 race as a guest driver and started wrecking people, saying it was fine because that's how F1 does it, everyone would be furious. So why is it okay the other way around? Hamlin felt like Magnussen was painting a picture of NASCAR that just isn't true. Like the whole sport is nothing but bumper cars and bad attitudes. Number is not. Still, Hamlin gave credit where credit was due. He didn't bash Magnussen as a driver, and I have nothing against him at all. I raced around him a little bit today. He was fine, and I think what he did was wildly impressive. But yeah, I'm going to have to side with Noah on this one. So Hamlin made it clear, Magnussen has talent. He drove well. But the way he handled the Gragson situation crossed a line. Now let's talk about what made Magnussen's debut so impressive in the first place, because his speed really was something special. The San Diego track was brand new. Nobody had ever raced there before. That meant every driver was learning the layout at the same time. It leveled the playing field in a way you don't usually see in NASCAR, where some drivers have hundreds of laps at certain tracks. And on that fresh, technical circuit, Magnussen was the fastest guy out there. If he ever comes back for another race, you can bet people will be watching even closer. But the back and forth with Gragson really showed what NASCAR is like at its toughest. The whole battle was full of intense moments. Magnussen showed promising speed, no doubt about that. But he also struggled with race strategy and how to handle conflict. Gragson ended up with major damage to his car. The whole thing turned into a fiery exchange between the two drivers that highlighted just how intense rivalries can get in NASCAR. Looking forward, Magnussen will probably need to come back with a different mindset if he ever races again. NASCAR racing is aggressive, but there are also unwritten rules about respect. He'll need to be sharper about how he picks his battles. The bad blood with Gragson isn't going away either. If they ever line up next to each other again, all eyes will be on them. For Magnussen, this race was a wake-up call. It showed him how fierce NASCAR really is. Stock car racing isn't just about speed and skill. It's also about respect, timing, and knowing when to push and when to back off. The technical San Diego circuit proved he has the raw talent. But the cultural side of NASCAR, the part you can only learn by being around it, that's where he still has work to do. And as for Hamlin, he made his stance crystal clear. You don't show up to a sport, wreck a full-time driver, and then say it's because that's how they do things. Whether Magnussen meant it as a compliment or not, the words came across as an insult to the entire NASCAR community. That's why Hamlin sided with Gragson without even thinking twice about it. The bigger question now is whether Magnussen gets another shot. His speed says he deserves one. His attitude after the race? Well, that's going to be up to NASCAR fans and team owners to decide. There's also something interesting about Gragson's history that's worth talking about. This isn't the first time he's had a heated moment with a trackhouse racing driver. Back in 2023, Gragson got into it with Ross Chastain at Kansas Speedway after Chastain sent him spinning. That confrontation actually got physical, with both drivers putting hands on each other's suits. Chastain even swung a quick hook at Gragson when he wouldn't stop swearing. So Gragson is no stranger to post-race drama. He's been in plenty of fights and arguments throughout his career, even throwing punches in the lower divisions against guys like Daniel Hemrick and Harrison Burton. Knowing all that, it's not shocking that he wasn't going to let Magnussen off the hook easily. Magnussen, on the other hand, has his own history of fiery moments from his Formula One days. He raced in F1 for 9 seasons with teams like McLaren, Renault, and Haas. Anyone who followed his F1 career knows he's not the type of guy to back down from anyone. He's known for racing hard and pushing back when people push him. So, when these two strong personalities ended up on the same track in San Diego, the fireworks were almost guaranteed. It's the kind of clash that makes NASCAR fans tune in week after week.